Hello, everybody. Welcome inside. Yep, that's right. Another edition of the Wrap Up. Dan Myers, Nick Buckler with you, as always, as some of our colleagues would say. Dan, it's been a minute, a hot minute, and let's hang loose. Our teams aren't doing us justice right now. The Tigers are terrible, and really that's all that's going on right now. We have the Stanley Cup Finals going on, and we could talk about that, but turn on Channel 4 and you can watch it for yourself. The Tigers, you can, look to your garbage can or your garbage disposal and see it for yourself. Or, you know what, maybe you got a fire pit out back. That's what the Tigers look like. We've got more interesting things to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
And I think the next one's better.
The next one is better. As in next season? As in, where are we going with that?
I was just pulling a quote from a famous video.
Very famous video. Circa 97.
There are Stanley Cup videos for championship teams. Obviously, the Red Wings have won 4 in the last 20 years now, and can't believe it's been that long, but 97, 98, 02, 08. And I don't think anyone can quote the videos better than the two gentlemen sitting right here. And the fact that anyone can quote them, like weird things that are even said, like what a fan says in the video, it's kind of sad that we can do it, which means there was a lot of time on our hands. But the rankings from the NHL's greatest teams of all time have come out, and the Red Wings only had one team in that top 10. It was a 2002 team, which had an array of Hall of Famers and more to come. Let's just talk about that and maybe why they were ranked so low. I think if you look at that team, I don't think the teams from the 70s are better than this team. Like, it was a whole different kind of hockey back then. Like you mentioned earlier, they have to go by era. They're like, go back to the Gordie Howe era. Those guys couldn't even lift the puck. Look at the equipment. The glass was literally a cage. Yep. It's not even hockey back then. And to me, I think this 2002 team deserved to be a lot higher than number 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot more. Well, first of all, going back to what you said, yes, they almost needed sort of a bracket challenge for that, or have it as the era. Because when I think of something that's the best, when you have a top 10 of anything, you're competing with the other 9 or all 10 teams or issues, whatever you have. Whether it's movies, you look at your top 10 movies, the most relevance. Even if it's from 1950s, if it's still relevant to this day, that makes it a top 10 anything. So to have, what is it, the Montreal team of the 60s and 70s go up against the 2002 Red Wings? No, it's embarrassing to me. And call me a homer, call me a slappy, what you want, call me whatever you want, but just don't call me late for dinner. You name that movie. Sorry, tangent. But
what movie is that?
That is This Boy's Life. Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, early on.
Never seen it.
Yeah, not many people have. It's okay. But I actually came up with a list of my own. I'm sure you did. I mean, you could easily rattle off a few. But that 1990s to even present day, I feel those classic teams could not compete with any of these teams.
No.
Yes, what they did at that time was incredible. It was historic. But it's not present day, and things evolve as they tend to do. And to have them ranked, some of these teams ranked higher than even the 02 Wings, the 96 Avalanche. Whether you like them or not, you have to respect them because they're a terrific team. They had a lot of all-stars on there. I could go on forever as far as different teams. I'll read you mine. I'll read off some of the key guys that I feel that would make that team, the top 10. In this particular order, right now, I have the 02 Wings. We won't go through all the names because obviously we know the names.
Let's touch. Their fourth line was Brett Hull, Pavel Datsyuk, rookie, and Boyd Devereaux. They called it 2 kids and a goat. That's your fourth line. Yeah. Let's look at the fourth line now. Drew Miller, Matt Laredo, and Ben Street closed out the year as the fourth line. Yeah. Continue.
All right, and for the next one, my number 2 is the 96 Avalanche. I've got just the incredible lineup. I mean, you have Forsberg, Wall, Lemieux, Sandis Ozolinsh.
Say that 5 times fast, eh?
I can't even say it 1 time fast. Adam Foote, Sakic, Simon, Ricci, Deadmarsh, and Ricci again.
Then his twin brother.
Yes.
Billy Ricci.
And then the coach was terrific also. I mean, hate him or love him, he put that team together pretty well. Then I have the number 3 is the Oilers. You know, that classic team with Messier, Lemieux. That's just terrific lineup. That I feel like that's probably the oldest you should go back, or the farthest you should go back with that. Number 4, running off with 93, 94 New York Rangers. You have Messier, Leach, Richter, and my favorite name, one of my favorite names in the NHL, Stéphane Matteau. Stéphane Matteau.
Step on it.
All right. And then I had a 3-way tie for 5. I'll just, real quick, you have the 0-2 New Jersey Devils. You have that All-Star.
0-2 Devils.
Yes. Rafalski, Niedermeyer, Stevens, and Pat Quinn.
What round did they make it to?
That's
true. That's right. They didn't make.
But you look at those names, and I mean, those are Hall of Fame names. Pat Burns, coach. You know, he led the Leafs for a while. Martin Brodeur, All-Star goalie.
Real quick.
Brian Rafalski, maybe not so much, but he
Yeah,
was
Homer,
terrific.
Garden City. You're leaving out the 1976-77 Habs.
Yeah.
Why?
They're terrific, but they can't compete. You can't compete with the other 2 teams I'm about to show you too.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. All right, and then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets that consisted of, whether you like them or not, you have to respect them. Like I said earlier about the Avalanche, you have Kane, Taves, Hossa, Crawford, Desjardins, and Brad Richards. And then you also have the 93-94 Pens, consisting of Yager, Francis, Tokic, McSorley, Lemieux, Barrasso, and Bryden Trottier.
You're trying to tell me Marty McSorley was a great player?
Yes, he was.
All he did was fight.
If he's good enough for a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, he's good enough to be in the All-Stars.
I've only seen Jean-Claude Van Damme in an
Sudden
episode
death.
of Friends. Rachel and Monica both had a crush on Jean-Claude Van Damme. Rachel they were on the set because Ross's monkey was in a movie. So Monica and Rachel went to go see it to hang out with him. And all of a sudden, or no, I think Joey might have had an extra role because, you know, God forbid he, you know, was in a real thing other than like ER or whatever. Anyways, they go, Monica's there. She's nervous. So she has Rachel go say, hey, my friend is into you. Will you go on a date? Well, it turns out Rachel then, Jean-Claude Van Damme asked Rachel, well, is her friend available? Meaning Rachel. They go out. Monica and Rachel get mad. That's all the pull Jean-Claude Van Damme has to me.
Millennials. Sorry, guys.
Not even a... You know what? My knees are getting hot, you know? They're warm.
Yes. Yeah. That's my personal... But going over to the top 10 that they had just drove me nuts.
But, I mean, let's go back to the 76-77 Habitant des Canadiens.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Do it.
I mean, it's...
Plead your case.
It's Guy Lafleur. It's, you know, Larry Robinson. It's, you know, the list goes on. You got all these guys. You got Steve Shutt. I mean, the list goes on. These guys are great.
It was very good.
That was good, wasn't it? I thought of that all off the top of my head with no help from anyone.
No, Hal wasn't helping you out over here?
Hal?
2001 reference, sorry.
Hal Gill?
Yeah.
2001.
The Space Odyssey, the computer that helps you out. For you, those of you that don't know, we do have some help with our personal Hal, our operating system, which is...
It's also a 3-letter word.
Yeah.
Hal, our art.
Yes.
You like that?
There you go.
That's good.
What would your top 5 be?
Well, all right.
Is there any similarities? Are we looking... Am I wrong at saying that 2002 team...
Let me look at yours because I was kind of zoning out the whole time you were talking. Whoa, are we on? Hey. No, I definitely think the 0-2 Wings is up there. I think they're top 3 for sure. It's hard to go against. To me, I liked the 0-1 Avalanche better than the 96 Avalanche because then you add Ray Bourque, although at the end of his career, still a great defenseman. And I still like the Islanders of the early 90s and late 80s. To me, I love the Islanders team. So let me look to see who you had here. You have Oilers. To me, Oilers, though, is just Wayne Gretzky. It's the only reason they were there.
That's fair.
LA Kings team, same with St. Louis in 96, 97. But remember the Steve Yzerman goal, the overtime goal, the famous goal. Grant Fuhr goes bar down. It wasn't even Grant Fuhr. I
Turnover
don't
by
remember who it
Wayne
was.
Gretzky,
Yeah,
said player.
right. Wayne Gretzky turned the puck over to Steve Yzerman. But like the 95 Devils are up there, Scott Stevens and all those guys. And I mean, the list goes on. But to me, one that kind of goes, I don't know if, and I'm going to take heat for saying this. Don't get me wrong. I do not like this team. But the 2010 to 2014, 15 Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep,
Did you put them in there?
they're right there.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
No, it's fine though.
Did you say them?
Yes, and I did. And
They were a dynasty.
yeah,
They're starting to fizzle out, obviously. But even you can go back as far as 2007, 2008. It was a different looking team, but they were in the conference finals in 08 or 09 against your Wings with Cristobal Ue as netminder.
Yeah.
I mean, the team was a little different. And obviously, they just kept putting it together, signing the right pieces. You know, your Dave Bullens, your Patrick Sharps. Obviously, you build around Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Patty Kane, and Jonathan Taves. You could put, Helen the Menace Keller between the pipes, and you're still going to win a cup. I don't think
Yes.
Corey Crawford is that good of a goalie. To be honest, I always thought Scott Darling was better. Now Scott Darling's off in Carolina. And to me, that's a good team.
yeah. No, necessarily. Do you need a Stanley Cup winning team to have a top 10
Yes.
team?
I say you have to get it done.
Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's why I disagreed with the 0-2 New Jersey Devils. They didn't even make the Cup final.
You know what? And looking back at that too, you have to. I'm realizing that you have to look at players when they're in their prime too. Was Messier and Gretzky in their prime on that Edmonton Oilers team, or did they evolve and excel? Because if you want to go down that route, Gretzky, personally, in my opinion, was in his prime in LA. Messier was in his prime in New York. There's a reason why they were named captain.
Well, then
or he
let's
was named
go
captain.
back to 0-2. Were those players in their prime? Was Luke Robitaille in his prime?
That's
was
true.
Brett Hull in his prime? Was Dominik Hasek, Steve Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, Nick Lidstrom, I would say, was in his prime. The other guys, I think they were past their prime. But they had the right blend of leadership and skill to still get the job done.
Yep.
Sure,
that's
you
the
can
problem
say
with these
Brett
lists.
Hull, Luke Robitaille, those are great names. Luke Robitaille, let's be honest, he didn't do much in 0-2 and 0-3.
Yeah.
He really was just a complimentary piece.
A combination of.
He was on a line with
15
Steve
goals
Yzerman and
that
Sergei
year.
Fedorov, which sounds great, but those guys, Yzerman was injured majority of that year. You'd see him when he get down, he'd just get up and he's grimacing and he's in pain. His knees are shot. But that brings me back to the second round. Chris Pronger lays a hit on him. Yzerman ducks. Pronger tears his ACL. Ha. Who's laughing now?
Yeah.
Let's talk expansion draft.
Well, let's talk.
It's coming up on Father's Day. Everyone knows the Las Vegas Golden Knights will be the new NHL franchise, the 31st team. They will be headed over to the Western Conference. They will pick one player from each of the 30 NHL franchises. They can take a minor league player. They could take anyone who is not protected that is over a third-year pro. Dylan Larkin will be exempt because he will be a third-year pro. You have to be third or higher than a third-year pro to be eligible. There's been mock drafts coming out. There's been a bunch of things. Who are the Red Wings going to protect? Who's going to leave? Are they going to make any trades? They have two goaltenders with a high salary. Are they going to move one of them? What's going to happen? Do you think a trade? Who's going to leave? Who they're going to protect? Hit me with it. I don't care in what order. Just give it to me.
Now, the mock-up that we looked at, who were they sending over to the Golden Knights?
All three mock drafts I've looked at had Riley Sheehan leaving Detroit to Golden Knights. But there has been saying Darren Helm could go, and even this one, surprising, Jimmy Howard could go as well. All three in the notable comments said those three names.
No kidding. Yeah, you know
Which
what?
is better. Mid-season, they're like, Mantha could go, Athanasiou could go. All right, morons. Who's writing this article? Someone who's never watched a day of Red Wings hockey in their life. In what world does Ken Holland not protect those two players?
Right.
And let them walk for free? It's bad enough Alexei Marchenko walked for free last year. It's bad enough Timu Pulkkinen and Martin Frick walked for free.
Right.
Now we got one of them back And now the Griffins are making a run. They're in the Calder Cup Finals playing the Syracuse Crunch rematch, 2013, by the way. Anyways, to me, I'm just winging this. You can pick 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. The sketchy part for me, I think the forwards is pretty much self-explanatory. But the defensemen, it gets a little hairy. Do you protect Danny DeKeyser? Do you protect Mike Green? Do you protect Jonathan Erickson? It's real. To me, you're going to lose a young defenseman. I hope they don't, but they might. Because you have Ryan Sproul, you have Nick Jensen, who you just signed a contract to. You have Xavier Ouellet. Some of the mock drafts I've seen them protecting Danny DeKeyser, Mike Green, and Xavier Ouellet. I'm okay with those.
I like that.
But I really like Nick Jensen. I don't want to see him walk. I really don't.
Yeah, you know what? If DeKeyser or Erickson has to go, so be it.
Erickson, smell you later.
Yes.
Now, who's going to pay that $5.5 million, though?
Right.
To a washed-up cone.
Is he one of those players that can excel with a different team? I mean, like you saw with...
He's done.
He's done.
He never really had anything, let alone something to begin with. To me, you protect Peter Mrazek. He's a future. You do not protect Jimmy Howard. I'm sorry. I don't think Vegas will take a jump on a $5 million goalie who's already 33 years old.
And what are we paying Mrazek again? Is
4.
It 4, okay.
He'll be a restricted free agent at the end of the season. He signed a 2-year, $8 million contract. Before last season, he was very inconsistent. His goals against was over 3. His save percentage was hovering around 900, that is. But to me, you protect Mrazek, you protect Green, you protect DeKeyser, and either Jensen or Ouellet as that last third. But then the forwards. You protect Zetterberg. I'm sorry. He's old. Protect him.
Yeah.
Had a great year. Vegas might need that leader to get those young guys gelling.
That's true.
You protect Z. You protect AA. You protect Mantha. You protect Gus. You protect Tatar. There's 5. You got to protect both of those guys. You have to. They can't go unprotected. But now, the next 2 spots. You protect Abdelkader. I don't think you should. They do.
Really?
They protect him.
Okay. You don't think but you don't think they should protect Abdelkader?
No, he's not good.
Okay.
I've never been he's a 3rd or 4th line player. In Detroit, he's a 1st line player. Why? Who knows?
That's true.
They'd rather put a guy like Larkin on the 3rd line and have some guy with, meat hands on your 1st line. The guy can't bury an empty net. You're trying to tell me he gets a hat trick on opening night. Let's give him a huge extension, $4.5 million a year. He's a grinder.
Yeah.
That's like paying Kirk Maltby in his prime, $6 million.
And give him the SI cover.
Or Chris Draper, who they got for $1. One single dinero. 1 bean.
Yep.
$1. It's worth $4 million here. Kenny. Yellow. Next thing you know, you're going to be calling Darren McCarty to tell him about the biggest trade you just made. And you could call Shanny or
Welcome
Nick
down to the
Lidstrom.
arena.
No. He's dusting off his stash. Next thing you know, he gets a call. Hey, it's Kenny Holland. Just traded for Hasek. Oh, we got Dominic Hasek. The other guys are hearing it from the doorman at their hotel. They're in Montreal for a golf outing.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, speaking of dusting things off, you informed me, and I'll let you inform the wrap-up audience
Hello.
of a possible return of a key name that we lost. Some would say early, some would say a little late.
There was an interview last week over in Soviet Russia. Pavel Datsyuk, 38-year-old, played 44 games, had 18 goals, 22 assists in his first year in Russia. But they asked him, would you ever return to the NHL? And he said, I will leave the door open for anything. But NHL, I will only come back to play for Detroit. Mind you, he is no longer a member of the Detroit Red Wings. We traded his rights to the Arizona Coyotes at the draft last year. So they would have to work something out. But that brings up the question, would you want Pavel Datsyuk back? I say,
Sour grapes.
see you later, Dusty.
Yeah.
Pile of bones.
Yep.
He's done. He couldn't stay healthy when he was here.
Yeah.
I
mean, unless you want to pick him up for $1 or just pay him, but don't give him that Chris Draper deal. But no.
Yeah, he's not getting that Matchbox 20 money. No way, Jose.
Yeah. It really irks me when you told me that. It's like, it's just frustrating. Oh, you don't like it there. We've been telling you, you pretty much had the organization on your back. Not on your back, but, right behind you, and you decided to take off for Russia. Granted, you had a long career, but still, that's just, to me, that's very frustrating. Trying to keep my words clean, but yeah, it's too bad.
We got a list coming in
Oh,
from Hooked on Hockey magazine
cool.
coming up. Okay, it's top 15. Number 15. This is hockey teams of all time, mind you. Coming in hot. The 95-96 Colorado Avalanche, number 15 overall ever. The 07-08, your Detroit Red Wings, coming in at 14. Okay, Rangers of the 90s, 94 to be exact, 13. Got that. Number 12, the Bruins of the early 70s, Bobby Orr. That's one I didn't really think of, but it could happen. They're 12. The 01 Avalanche, thank you. Hello. Yep, they're number 11. Number 10, coming in hot. Penguins of the early 90s. Need my glasses.
Which had a terrific line that was on here.
Was that Yags, Lemieux, and
Carolina
Brind'Amour?
captain. Carolina captain.
Ronnie Francis?
Ronnie Francis.
Ronnie played over there, did he?
You really not sold on Marty McSorley?
Give me a skill yet.
Hal?
Other than
Hal, is Marty McSorley noteworthy? Is he all-star worthy? Yes. Yes.
anyways,
You don't. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, hit me with the young joke. I can't appreciate it.
It's not that you're.
You've
not
only
you're
seen
young,
the
but-
videos of him fighting Bob Probert. True, I have.
He was-
I don't see a highlight package of him scoring goals.
YouTube wasn't around then.
They weren't around when he was fighting guys either, but I see him. What do I know?
Okay.
Anyways, back to the list. Number 9, the 02 Detroit Red Wings team we talked about. Still not getting that love. But right ahead of them at number 8, the 97, the first Stanley Cup team of the Detroit Hockey Red Wings. Number 7, the 87 Oilers. Okay. Number 6, the 75 Flyers, Broad Street Bullies. Bah, bah, bah. You don't like the Broad Street Bullies?
Oh no, I think they're great.
Did you see the documentary?
Terrific documentary.
Great
If you get a chance to
documentary.
see it, this is what they're afraid of hockey turning into, and that's why it's gotten. But
Soft.
yes, I just
Anyways,
the competition, and they just can't hold up to today's standards.
Yeah, they
and-
left a certain medication at home when they decided to recreate hockey these days. We'll leave it at that. The 82 New York Islanders, had to squint there, Squints O'Houlihan. Coming in at number 5. Number 4, the 78 Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, okay. Oh, team I forgot about. The late 80s Calgary Flames. The dude with the mustache. What was his name?
Oh, this is gonna kill me.
What was that mustache man name?
Lanny McDonald.
Lanny McDonald.
The CEO of McDonald's. They call him the quarter pounder rolling in with a slap shot. Boom! Anyways, number 2, the 84 Edmonton Oilers. And number 1, a team that Dan didn't want to give any credit to, the 76-77 Centennial Squad. The bicentennial United States, that is, 1776. 1976-77. Habitant des Canadiens, Montreal Canadiens. Any thoughts? What about that list? What do you think?
I think if you switched it, 15 went to 1, 1 went to 15, I might not have an issue with it. But and there could be some adjustments in between. The talent level. We were even talking about this before, off camera, is the fact that the talent and you couldn't lift a puck, you couldn't do this. You play these
played with a
teams.
straight blade.
Yes.
The sticks weighed 40 pounds.
Yeah. You didn't have slap shots coming in at 100 miles an hour.
Were they allowed to take slap shots?
Yeah.
Or is it like squirt hockey?
I think
Did they use that little blue puck that weighed like...
the safe shot.
Yeah. All right, guys, no lifting the puck before 6 p.m.
Were the guys, you know what, an argument could be made. Were the guys tougher back then than they are now? I'd personally say yes. Granted, the hitting is a lot more extreme, but there's a lot less pads. Not that they're wearing that many pads in the in the show now. But I mean, you got guys going. If you had a Sidney Crosby going up against a Gordie Howe, how I'd pay millions to see that pay-per-view. But could they
better
hang?
than Manny Pacquiao and or Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
I paid $10 for that.
Did you? Well, you got away easy then.
Well, yeah, there's 10 of us. It's $100 or however much it was. Anyways, it was a time where music like this. Hello out there. We're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. The whistle blows and the puck goes down the ice. We're going to leave you with that song, Dan. This was a great, fun time. Thanks to our help behind the scenes and everyone, our whole crew, and from all of us for the Shelby TV Sports Special, the nifty one, saying, see you next time. And